Well, hi, I'm Mayor Gavin Newsom, and thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to spend a few moments and talk about this week in San Francisco, a pretty remarkable week here, second week of December. We had our 32nd Project Homeless Connect. We started out the week with literally 965 volunteers, almost 1,000 volunteers that came together. It was our 32nd Project Homeless Connect in the last 5 years, and they served just shy of 2,000 clients. In fact, there were exactly 1,964 clients that were served. We had people that had their wheelchairs repaired, people had dental exams and dental services. We had all kinds of folks get eye exams and get free eyeglasses, including people that found housing immediately. Project Homeless Connect is something I'm very, very proud of, and it's something I think all of us in San Francisco should be proud of. Over 22,000 people have now volunteered through Project Homeless Connect. And people have come together, again, across every conceivable difference from all over Northern California. We had some school kids coming from Sonoma down to San Francisco to help reach out on the city streets and help lift folks up and lift them out of poverty. What I think also is remarkable as we celebrate the holidays and time of thanks and reflection is that now we can reflect on the fact that Project Homeless Connect is availed itself in 221 cities. This has truly become a national model. In fact, 2 different countries now have picked up on this model about connecting services and connecting people to programs and connecting people to a greater sense of purposefulness as it relates to going out and reaching out again to people that are either out there chronically homeless or out there that are suffering from the indignities of the elements that may just need something fixed at the DMV or something fixed in terms of a legal problem. And of course, Project Homeless Connect provides for all of those things. So just, again, thank you to all the volunteers for a job well done. I also want to thank Muni. This was a tough week. You know, Monday we kicked off our biggest change in Muni's recent history. It's been over 30 years since we've had dramatic service changes in our public transit system. About 60% of the system was impacted. And I just want to thank Nat Ford and the Muni team for a job well done. It was difficult. We got a lot of complaints. I get that. But we also had a lot of compliments when you're making these kind of service changes, both cuts, and I know those weren't easy, but also enhancements. And I should note that we got a lot of great feedback. And I want to thank folks for the feedback, for example, that we got on the 41 and the need to enhance some of the service there. Feedback we got on the 10 Townsend, where we've got to, I think, do a better job of reaching out and talk about alternative routes, etc. But for something this comprehensive, again, all aided by our transit effectiveness program and real data collection, I think it went much smoother than, candidly, we had expected, and we had high expectations that we would do our best. But I just again want to thank the public for their patience and understanding, and again for our Muni team for, I think, a job well done. By the way, we're not out of the woods, and I understand there's still a lot of people that are concerned about these changes, and we're going to do our best to ameliorate them and to address them. Another wonderful part about this week as we moved from Muni and Project Homeless Connect was our supportive housing work. You know, we passed a really important milestone. 1,545 units of new supportive housing have been complete since January 2004. I came together, or rather helped organize a group that came together, led by former supervisor Angela Aliotto, to put together a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness. The goal was to develop 3,000 new supportive housing units. In addition, we had some very ambitious goals about taking over existing supportive housing units or taking existing housing stock and converting them to supportive housing. But we had a program that we launched, a program, I should refer to it really as a project, down at 10th and Mission, Mercy Housing, in partnership with Catholic Charities, did a 136 unit project, 44 units targeted at homeless families, and the rest of the units, again, families more broadly. And it's just something to be really proud of. We had a Bishop Swing development that launched a few weeks ago, and I just want folks to know we're not giving up. Forget all the bad news you're reading about in terms of the economy. We're still moving forward with this plan. We're moving forward aggressively, and if I gave you a calendar of the next 9 to 12 months, you'll see that there's a lot of even more exciting news to come on the supportive housing front. So congratulations to Mercy Housing, congratulations to the Mayor's Office of Housing and Fred Blackwell and my team over at the Redevelopment Agency for all their work in putting together the money. $70 million project, but it's an absolutely spectacular project, so hats off. Another wonderful thing that happened this week was our jobs program. We have a program called Jobs Now. We were successful already in getting 1,200 people into jobs through this program. This is a subsidy from the federal government. It's part of the federal stimulus that's really working, that provides 100% wage subsidies. The challenge is business community doesn't necessarily believe it, that they can get an employee that is subsidized with 100% of a wage that doesn't have a cap. We have, in fact, employees making $135,000. The employer pays none of the wage. They just pay the benefits. We've already screened 3,500 people. 1,200 people are in the program, and it's limitless, meaning there's about $1.8 billion set aside in the state of California, and we can draw down all of that, which will be almost impossible, but we can draw down as much of that as we possibly can as we compete with other cities for this federal stimulus and these resources. The goal now is to convince employers, not just employees, to learn more about it. So please, if you have just heard of this and you're just checking this out and you're wondering what I'm talking about, call 311 if you're from San Francisco, or go on our website, jobsnowsf.org, jobsnowsf.org, and learn more about this. Again, 100% wage subsidies, real jobs to real people. The only catch is you have to have a dependent. So if you're unemployed and you have a dependent, someone 18 or younger, either living with you, doesn't have to be living with you, you can be eligible to get a voucher to get this wage subsidy. Jobs Now, a huge success story, and one where now we have a stretch goal of getting up to 2,500 jobs through this subsidy program. Our original goal was 1,000. We've already exceeded that, and this is a program that goes through September of next year, 2010. I'll be heading out, though, to Washington, D.C. on Tuesday night. I'll be there Wednesday for meetings to try to get an extension of this program beyond September of 2010, working with Speaker Nancy Pelosi, our congressional delegation, Boxer and Feinstein and others. This is one that everyone should be proud of. This is a real job stimulus, and this is one, I think, where Democrats and Republicans and different ideological sides of the spectrum can come together, and support its enhancement and advancement. Another program that we're also very excited about that's really taking shape is our efforts to green our building stock in San Francisco. San Francisco has really led the nation with a local global climate action plan to roll back our greenhouse gas emissions 20% below 1990 levels by 2012. We already, in September of 2008, have shown that we've reduced our greenhouse gas emissions about almost just shy of 6%, but over 5% below 1990 levels. We've already achieved that. The one area where we need to do more is green buildings. We have the highest green building standards in America for new construction and major remodels. But now we're going to get into the existing commercial space, and we just announced, literally on Friday of this week, a new task force report that will raise the bar even further than the good work Mayor Bloomberg is doing in New York with the most aggressive existing building strategies in terms of energy audits and energy efficiency and energy disclosure requirements that will really, I think, set the bar for the rest of the country, and hopefully they can learn from some of our examples. Where we did it, which was kind of fun, we actually announced that the Transamerica Pyramid, icon of San Francisco, is now LEED Gold, the LEED certification. They met the LEED Gold certification. We now have more LEED certified buildings in San Francisco as a small city than LA and New York. We had a 5-fold increase last year in the number of LEED certified buildings. We are truly leading the way, LEAD in that case, and LEED in terms of the green building certification. So real progress to be made in the future, and real progress that has been made to date. Very excited about that. A final two things, and sort of looking at next week. I am moving forward with legislation and this is for people that follow City Hall very closely, this just cause legislation that I'm committed to vetoing. But John Avalos, Supervisor Avalos here, I think is well intended in trying to address the issue of concern, particularly around foreclosed properties and protecting tenants from the predatory nature of banks coming in and knocking people out or kicking people out, or credit unions or other circumstances related to the macroeconomic challenges in foreclosed properties. The legislation he drafted went too far, and I'll make that clear in my veto letter, and why I think it doesn't deserve the support. But the intention behind it is right as it relates to the possibility that we're going to see bigger problems in the future, even more problems than we've seen in the past as it relates to foreclosures. So on Tuesday, I'll be introducing legislation that I absolutely will support by definition to address the foreclosure part of the just cause, and I hope the board can support that. And respectfully, again, I disagree with the board's passage, at least by a slim majority, of the just cause across the board, and that veto will be forthcoming. Next week as well, just very briefly, we've got some great legislation we're introducing as it relates to incentives for employers that are providing health care, a new landscape ordinance we're working with Carmen Chu that I look forward to. I'll also be in Washington, D.C., and this I'll close with, not just advocating for our Jobs Now program, but also trying to address the issue of Treasure Island and trying to finally get the Navy to convey that property to the city and county of San Francisco. I've been working on this for about 6 years as mayor, and even longer as a member of the Board of Supervisors. And one final point, not to neglect this substantive point. We've got a budget. Mid-year cuts are forthcoming. We have a $45 million shortfall that we've got to meet. Next Thursday, I should have the recommendations I'll submit to the Board of Supervisors on those mid-year cuts. Been working hard all week. Literally the vast majority of my time has been addressing some of those mid-year challenges, and then we'll start moving on to deal with the $522.2 million problem we have to deal with in next year's fiscal budget. So that's a little quick update on the week. A lot more that happened, but not enough time to talk about it, and I look forward to seeing you, to the extent anyone's interested in watching these, in subsequent weeks in the future. Thanks very much.